Yeah?
Thank you very much, Dr. Eneas. And while he gets a sip of water, I'm sure you have some burning questions. So we'll entertain questions at this time.
Dr. Eneas, I had the privilege of knowing your Uncle Cleveland very well because he was on the executive committee of the Nassau Trust, and I was recruited there in 1973. So I used to hear about the Yoruba Society. So Paul Adley's grandfather or great-grandfather and Orville Turnquest's great-grandfather, they were the adjudicators generals, like the chief justice. But there's an account that was written, I don't know if it's in your bibliography, the Baltimore Geographical Society expedition. There was a series of Geographical Society visits and studies of the Bahamas from 1895 to early 1900s by Morrison, and this huge chapter on Baintown and Yorubas and Congos, and the Yorubas hated the Congos and things like that. And they also talked about there was a Yoruba queen here.
Yes.
Can you tell us what law you heard of
No,
that?
what I heard was that they would have two festivals, Foxing Day, and they'll have a queen at Foxing, and they'll have a queen in Baintown, and that was the Yoruba queen in Baintown.
Oh, so it was a festival
Yes,
queen, not some princess that was brought over.
No,
that came over as a
see, I'm going to tell you a story, but you may not believe it, right? When I was courting my wife, I told her that I was an African prince. And I since found out that my son told his wife that he was an African prince. But there's some truth to that, Pericles, because as I mentioned, Robert Pitt, who was the great-great-grandson of Anthony Eneas, right? He tells the story that when Anthony Eneas rescued Britain, they told him that an important man was on the ship, and that important man was Britain, because Britain was the son of a chief. So, ladies and gentlemen,
that was one of the sources, is that chiefs would send the rivals, and older brothers would send younger brothers, anybody who might threaten them, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
So we got good genetics brought over here.
They come over.
Along with the horror, there's some good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You had a question?
Yeah. How important was the salt trade in the Bahamas?
Very important. I think Pericles can talk about that better than me, because salt was an important industry in the Turks and Caicos, in the harbors.
All the way from Rose Island south.
Yeah.
And it was a huge export commodity until like the early 1900s when the American tariff was destroyed. It was an export to New England, which sent down manufacturing.
But prior to the slave trade, salt was an important commodity in Africa. Yeah.
Preserving meat and food, too.
And
Yes,
fish,
yeah.
absolutely.
That was the main product in Africa prior to the slave trade. They were like us, you know.
And gold.
When tourism came over, we abandoned everything and took up tourism.
If I can advertise the rum festival that's held at Fort Charlotte in February every year, and I got roped into researching and lecturing on the history of sugar and rum. And so we parallel a lot of what you say. But the sugar thing actually started in Guinea, Indonesia, India, and then the Arabs brought it west to Europe.
The Crusades.
The Crusades first tasted it, and that started the European craze for sugar. And it was plantation grown for the first time in Egypt, Sicily,
Then
Cyprus when they were part of Muslim conquest, South Spain and Portugal, and then that's
so you know the history.
yeah, that's what really brought it across.
Dr. Sanders?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I missed the very beginning. Have you written a book on what you just
Yes,
told us?
that's my next, something left behind. That's what I'm going to.
It's printed?
No.
Published?
I haven't, I've got the rough draft, but I haven't.
So
See,
it's
part of my problem was, and she said she's not going with it. I wanted to, in 2015, I wanted to go back to Beirut to celebrate 200 years of us being in the New World, right? And I really wanted to take the slave trade from the Bay of Kuta to the Bay of Benin. And I intend to do that if she gives me the money this year. So that's on my bucket list.
Anybody else? Or can I ask something? So have you done the DNA submissions that everybody's
I
doing?
don't have to do it.
I know, but wouldn't it be fascinating?
I had
And they'll tell you exactly where you come from.
No, we know. I don't know
where
that.
they come from. Okay.
I got a cousin who lived to be 102, right? And she was as black as your shoes, but her face was as smooth as this. She was well African. We know the DNA.
We need to get
What's her
tested.
name?
Bernice. 102.
Dr.
Oh, wait, lady in the back.
Oh,
I wanted to ask, you know the name of the ship that this was on? It says flagship database.
No, I just came back from the African American Museum up in Washington. I had to go there and see for myself what the slave trade was like. And no, we don't have any information on the ship that he came on because it was wrecked. It was wrecked somewhere off Abaco in that area, and Anthony Eneas rescued him.
And they used to cheat customs.
Yeah,
They kept it secret.
Dr. Eneas, thank you for giving your presentation so far. We, in school and university, we're taught about the major crops, tobacco, salt, sugar, etc. But I wonder if you could expand on some of the lesser known crops, but equally as important, things like potatoes, tomatoes,
Well,
sisal, and how they arrived in the Bahamas, and at which point they started to become a factor in our lives.
let me tell you, food is regional. Every region has a particular commodity that supports the region. All right? When Columbus came, he sent his scouts to Cuba. And when they came back from Cuba, they went to looking for gold. When they came back from Cuba, they said, this is what we found. You know what it was? Corn. All right? Now, let's look at the science. The genetics of corn has been changed that if you want corn, where do you go?
Mexico.
Iowa, right, or somewhere, right? That is no longer a Caribbean because we haven't kept up with the science. And the same thing with potatoes. Potatoes is a Peruvian. That was their native crop. But if you want potatoes, you go to Idaho. So this whole science business has changed the natural geographic areas of plant and food. I had a teacher in Trinidad. His name was Professor Pushkar. He was a big Englishman who used to drink a lot. But his course was the origin of plants. And that is why the Columbian Exchange was so interesting to me, understanding the origin of plants. And So this whole slave trade business had a tremendous impact on changing the whole world, the whole hemisphere, particularly changing the racial makeup, to change the crops that we produce, to produce a certain kind of culture, like Rex Neffable said, the rhythm of Africa combined with the melody of Europe. So the slave trade had its many benefits, and the Columbian Exchange and the triangular trade all had tremendous impact on creating this world that we have. Thank you.
What's your opinion on using crops like corn and sugar to produce energy or fuel? Your opinion as agriculture?
That's what you know. I heard.
You agree or disagree?
I heard the Minister of Financial Services talking this week about the high cost of electricity. Right? We have on Andrews alone 289,000 acres of pine. Right? We have demonized the Chinese in this country. All right? The Chinese want to come in to develop a renewable energy industry out of pine. There are many commodities that we can use to produce, ethanol, corn, and sugar cane.
I disagree with it because they said usually that of course drives up the cost of food.
It creates choices. The farmer decides to grow into ethanol because he can get more money from it,
Right.
rather than getting $5 a bushel for corn.
Right.
So it creates choices for the farmer, and the farmers tend to choose a higher value commodity.
So you support it?
Yeah.
What's the last one? Cutting down. Cutting
This
down
will be
on
the
those
last three.
trees affect.
Please stand so we can hear
Yes,
you.
Gail.
It's hard to hear your front with the pants on.
Wouldn't cutting down all those trees affect?
No. See, one of the things.
You're sure?
One of the things that you have to have husbandry practices in the forest, thinning out, and so it would not.
Oh, you would thin out.
Yes, you would thin out. You just don't go and denude the whole area.
The old style.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Dr.